Like stunning western landscapes? Do you want to see a guy with a sick Elden Ring weapon build lead a group of teenagers through the Canyon of Death? Last night I watched The Last Wagon, a 1 hour 39-minute western from 1956 directed by Delmer Daves, starring my main man Richard Widmark and my main woman Felicia Farr. And 4 stars, solid recommend. This is a pretty small, brutal movie, and I love small, brutal movies, but I think it's elevated a lot by, the absolutely gorgeous backdrops, but also by the 2 leads, Widmark and Farr. To shout out Felicia Farr, this is the 3rd Delmer Daves western that I've seen her in, and from looking her up, it doesn't seem like she had a very long career, only acting in like 10 movies or something. But she's great in everything I've seen her in. She has a real gift with her eyes and her breathing for conveying loneliness and hope. It's very much the classic thing of, I hope this guy will come and take me away and we'll live happily ever after, which of course could be trite, but she does such a good job of selling it. She's so lonely and hopeful that it makes the guys uncomfortable since they know that they can't fulfill the entire fantasy, and that makes them sad and upset with themselves, which helps you empathize with them because no matter how bad or ready to die they are, there's a yearning to be the person that she wants. And I think it's subtle, but I honestly think she's a big part of the reason that all the actors across from her have such compelling performances in the movies I've seen. And speaking of that, Richard Widmark. I think he's one of the more energetic and compelling actors I've seen in movies, and he's like a little wired ball of tension, all sinew and menace and hopelessness. I first saw him in Night in the City, which is a top 100 of all time movie for me, and I don't know, I felt so sick watching how desperately Widmark was trying to make it in that movie. Someone described him as something like an artist without an art, meaning something like he's a very talented person who just doesn't have a place in the world that he lives in. In that way, it reminded me of Inside Llewyn Davis, which to me is another movie about a guy who has all the tools but just doesn't make it for reasons beyond his control. And that's just tragic as hell to me. I then watched him in the movie No Way Out, where he plays an extremely racist criminal that thinks Sidney Poitier, playing a doctor in his film debut, killed his brother. And again, it's a phenomenal performance. He somehow manages to be so pitiful and warped that you almost loop back into a kind of empathy for him. He makes you so angry at how he is, but then he somehow conveys that, along with being evil and awful and all that shit, that at the end of the day, it's also just kind of stupid and sad and pitiful to be racist like that. And in this movie, he plays a nothing left to lose guy who's been living with the Comanche for years with his Comanche wife and kids. And it opens up with him chasing these white dudes down and murdering them for killing his wife and kids. And again, he does such a great job in his characterization in this. He doesn't care if you like him or not. He's not a guy who's killing him only for honor or whatever. He's just going to kill him however he can. Delmer Daves was known as one of the first directors to include some of this sort of revisionist Western stuff in his movies, and I think this presages a lot of stuff like Unforgiven, where I always think about Clint Eastwood's threat to not only kill anyone that tries to kill him, but also everyone they know. Both Widmark and Eastwood are just fully snapped at that point. And so Widmark gets caught by an amoral sheriff who doesn't care that he's getting revenge for his wife and kids, and they join up with a group of settlers moving west. And then the settlers get attacked, and only the young survive, and he's the only badass left, so they have to ask him to lead them to safety. And that's really the movie, and it's really good. It didn't have my favorite ending ever. I think it could have used like one more sequence, another 10 or 15 minutes or so. But just on the strength of Farr and Widmark and the scenery, I think it's a decent watch. Who are some of your favorite Western actors? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and please like and follow.